guys, welcome to today's video. Today's video is gonna be one of those chats with me, a chatty video, because I got some stuff to like update you guys on and like share with you guys, and we're just gonna chat. I'm so nervous. I don't even know how. I don't know how to talk to you guys about this, and it just feels very surreal. So I was thinking about like how to make this video, and I'm not even sure like what I'm gonna title it. I didn't want to like straight up like title it what I was gonna tell you, but maybe I've changed it at this point when you're watching, so I don't even know what the title is of this video. But I want to let you guys know that I am pregnant. I am 14 weeks pregnant filming this video, and it's been like the longest process because I haven't shared it with you guys, and I feel like so weird but like so relieved to finally share this with you guys and to now be able to like bring you guys along. I have so many thoughts and feelings and so much that I've been trying to, you know, just like not cope with or deal with, but you know, like trying to process, because this is like, I'm thrilled. Like, let's first of all get that out there. I am thrilled. I'm sure the next question is going to be like, how does Joe feel about this? So later on in this video, I'm going to include some footage of him telling you exactly how he feels. But yes, I am pregnant. I am pregnant. Thank the Lord. Praise God. I mean, it's such a blessing. It's such a blessing. And the last time we really chatted about this was when I shared my NFP video, talked to you guys about how we were doing natural family planning, but I want to make it crystal clear. This was not an oops, NFP didn't work, oops, you were trying to avoid and then you wound up with a surprise baby. Okay, so let's get that very clear. At the point where we conceived, like Joe and I, we were obviously off birth control. I was obviously off birth control, and we weren't abstaining at any point in my cycle. And we'll dive into that later in other videos, because I'm sure there's going to be a million questions about NFP. And I wanted to talk about NFP again, but like just the timing of it with like being pregnant, I didn't want to like talk about the topic and then like be straight up like lying to you guys, like not talking about the fact that I'm actually pregnant. So it was very much like a known possibility that it could happen, and that's kind of where we were leaving it. We were leaving it at, we're gonna give this to God, and if he decides that he wants us to get pregnant, then we will be pregnant, and if he doesn't, then okay. And we were just letting it be. Like, that's literally what we were doing. So then I'll tell you when I found out that I was pregnant. So this goes back like all the way to Thanksgiving. So I found out that I was pregnant the day before Thanksgiving. So we were at Joe's brother's house in Panama City Beach. And for the last like few months, every time that I get my period, or like, you know, the times that like I'm about to get my period, there had been a couple cases in the past where I was like a day or two late. And then since I didn't know, like, you know, could it be that I'm just late, or could it be that I'm pregnant? Like, I had bought on Amazon like the little super cheap pregnancy tests. I had bought those and I kept them with me just in case, like those days where like I should have been getting my period, but was still kind of late, I could just take a test and I didn't have to like go out to CVS and buy like a $10 pregnancy test. So I just had those handy. And so I had taken a couple of those with me when we went off to Thanksgiving, because I knew that I was going to be getting, you know, my period sometime while we were there. So all of that to say, let's see, I still have my tracker. I have everything. So this was my 7th cycle of doing NFP. So 7 months of doing NFP. And I kept, you know, tracking my day that I got my period and tracking all of the things, right? So I'm pretty consistently like on a 28-day, like, you know, usually on day 28 or maybe day 29, sometimes day 27. Like around 27, 28, 29 is usually when I would get my period. And so day 28 came and went, and I was like, okay, this is weird. Then day 29 came and went, still no period. And I was like, this is like starting to kind of get suspicious. And again, I was at my brother-in-law's house, like, and so like I'm going through all of these emotions. I wasn't really talking to Joe about it. I was just kind of like there's a real chance here that I could be pregnant. The more days that went by that I wasn't getting my period, because again, I was pretty, you know, consistent on schedule. So then day 30 came and went, and then day 31 came and went. So I was at that point like, okay, I'm pretty sure that like there's something going on here. Like I wasn't gonna be surprised if I took a pregnancy test and it came back positive. So on day 32, which was the day before Thanksgiving, I was like, let me just take a test, because at this point, you know, from day 28 to day 32, like I should have gotten my period sometime around here. So let me just take it for peace of mind. And I didn't want to take it like on actual Thanksgiving, because, you know, like the chaos of Thanksgiving. So on the day before Thanksgiving, on that Wednesday, I went into the bathroom with my little pregnancy test that I had in my toiletry bag, peed in a cup, I dipped the pregnancy test, and sure enough, it came back positive. And I mean, I didn't know what to think. Like, I was obviously thrilled, like, I couldn't believe it, but I mean, I should have believed it, because obviously I knew it was a possibility, but it just felt so different, because like with my other pregnancies, they were like, we're trying to conceive, we're looking at the dates when I'm fertile, and like, it was like a plan, you know what I mean? It was like, we want this right now, and so we're trying actively to make it happen. This time around, it was just like, wait and see, and then sure enough, I saw that I was pregnant. So it was like a lot of emotions. We'll talk about that too. Like, I'm over the moon. We are also over the moon. But at the same time, it's scary because it's different this time. Like, the kids are older, and you know, we had kind of settled into a routine. So there's a lot of emotions that I'm dealing with and trying to process again. That's how I found out. And then I think I told Joe the same exact day. I didn't get it on camera because like Joe's a private person, and like this time around, like obviously I haven't shared it until now when I'm 14 weeks. Like this time around, I just kind of wanted to keep it a little closer to home and like just kind of enjoy it and process it as like a family, you know what I mean? But I told him like that same day. I got back from the bathroom, like again, like my first pee of the morning, went back to the room that we were staying in, and it was like so funny because it was like one of those mornings where like the kids were like literally bouncing off of the freaking like the mattress. They were, you know, very high energy in the morning, and all I could help was like just to laugh, like just like nervous laughter of like, oh my god, my life is already crazy, here we're gonna add another one to the mix. And so it was just like this just nervous laughter that I broke out in. And Joe's like, are you okay? What's wrong with you? And I was just like, so I'm pregnant. And then I think he just said like, are you really? And I was like, yeah, I'm pregnant. And then he did say awesome after the fact. Okay, so again, this was a very positive thing. And we can talk about how he got there, because you guys know from a lot of our other conversations that Joe had been always like the one that was very hesitant, was very actually quite adamant at a point about we're done with 2 kids. So that's like a separate conversation for another day, because I could dedicate a whole video to that. But that's kind of how it went. And then it was just very stressful because I was at my brother-in-law's house. One of my nieces that we were obviously staying in her house, she had tested positive for the flu. So she had flu A, and we all knew that she had flu A. And so because she had flu A and we were in close quarters, I went to go get tested at the urgent care nearby, because like all I hear all the time is that flu is super dangerous for pregnant people. And I'm like, great, here I am. I just found out that I'm pregnant. So let me go get tested. So I go to the freaking urgent care, I go get tested, and sure enough, I'm positive for flu A. So the same day that I got a positive pregnancy test, I also got a positive flu test. So that was not very fun. As you can imagine, like all of the stress and anxiety of like you're being pregnant and like you don't want anything bad to happen to the baby, and I'm stressed because I don't want to get fever and all of the things. So they ended up like prescribing me Tamiflu, and I took Tamiflu like 2 pills and then never again, because it made me super nauseous. It made me feel worse. So it was like chaotic Thanksgiving. Hence, like when you go back to the Thanksgiving vlog, I didn't film. Like I think I filmed like 1 or 2 days while we were there on that trip, because I was recovering from like being sick with the flu, and then I had also just found out this news about being pregnant. So that was what Thanksgiving looked like. Fast forward to December, and fast forward to like the kids' birthdays when we were down in Miami. It worked out great because we were able to be there a lot of like my first trimester when I was like really exhausted, really feeling nauseous. So I got a lot of help from my parents, and I was able to obviously tell them when we went down there. I actually kept it a secret till we got down there, and I'm not sure how far along. I think I had just turned like 6 or 7 weeks pregnant when I told them. So I was able to go to my first like pregnancy appointment or whatever without my mom knowing. And I thought for sure she was gonna find out, because my mom even tracks me still to this day on her phone. Like, I still have the share my location. So I was like, what? She's gonna be like stalking me and trying to figure out where I am on the day that I have my appointment, and then she's gonna be like, why were you there at the hospital or whatever, and then I'm gonna have to tell her. So I was able to keep it a surprise. They were very surprised, and they were very ecstatic for us, super happy. So it was nice to be able to tell them in person since we were down there. But then we came back, and we had like that weird like New Year's time, and it's just been hard, you guys, because like I'm exhausted. I'm tired. Like, most of my symptoms have just been that I have zero energy. And I don't know if it's like all because I'm pregnant or all because like I'm pregnant plus I have 2 kids that I have to attend to and take care of all day, every day, or like, you know, combo of that. But I am tired. So there's been that. And I've been having to give myself a ton of grace, because like I can't get to every task that I want to get to around the house because I have no energy. And then I've had that like intermittent nausea where I haven't thrown up, thankfully. I haven't like actually been sick. But I have been like that nauseous feeling, just like here and there, and just the random bits of that. I thought it was gonna be over with now that I'm in the 2nd trimester. But even still, like a couple days ago, like around 4 o'clock, it was just like this random bit of like, I just want to lay down on the couch because like I'm nauseous. So that should hopefully clarify for you guys, you know, just like why things maybe have been a little bit off around here, or why I've been like extra tired. I hope that that's like, oh, okay, now I can see why, you know, there was a little bit of inconsistency with the vlogs. And I tried my best to keep filming as much as I could and to keep things as normal as possible, but it's been pretty hard. Just physically it is hard. I'm 32 years old this time around, so I know that I'm not old by any means, but this is obviously the oldest that I've ever been pregnant, and so I feel it in my body, just that I am a lot more tired. So thanks for bearing with me. If you've noticed differences, like literally the other day I got a message from someone on Instagram that was like, I feel like there's like stuff going on in like the back end of things, and like I miss the old Kayla. And I'm like, look, like I'm doing the best that I can. Like, I'm sorry if you feel like there's something like, I don't know, super secretive here, or that things have changed. But like in my real life, like, yes, things are changing, and there's a lot that I've been having to do and just, you know, tackle. And like the other day I shared in one of the vlogs that I was here by myself when Joe had his trainings. He was like gone Monday through Friday, came back on the weekend, and then left again Monday through Friday. That was me still here by myself with the 2 kids and pregnant. So it's just been a lot. And so I'm glad that now, at least, like I said, I can share this with you guys, and I can, you know, now in the vlogs, let you guys know what is happening. And just thank you for being patient with me. I wanted to share the news when I was ready. And there's been a lot of like pregnancy anxiety with this pregnancy, and I've been trying to work through that as best as possible. Like one of my biggest fears with getting pregnant again was the fact that when you open yourself up to pregnancy, you also open up yourself to loss, and you open up yourself to the possibility of something, you know, happening and losing the baby. And like that was one of the reasons for a while where I was like, do I even want to like have that on the table? Because like, would I be able to deal with that and the anxiety? So that's something that both Joe and I had been working on, and ultimately we came to the decision that, you know, we were just going to leave it up to God and trust in his timing, and trust you know, whatever his plan was for us in terms of being open to life and bringing a new life into this world. But like, it's not easy. Like, it's still a scary thing. And so I wanted to wait at least till the 12-week mark to, you know, like sit down and finally share the news. Like, it's hard when you put your life out there, like it is. And I'm sure that if, God forbid, you know, I had lost this baby before this point, I would have still told you guys like, hey, I had a miscarriage, or hey, I was going through this. But I didn't want to feel like I had to share it right then and there, in the moment, in real time, and not give myself the time to process it. So now that I'm 14 weeks today, I feel a lot more comfortable sharing. And then this past, like on Friday, today's Sunday, on Friday, I went and I had an ultrasound appointment, and I got pictures of the baby, got to hear the baby's heartbeat. So I can share that with you guys. I can show you little baby. And it's just like, it was such a relief to be able to see the baby, to be told like, yes, the heartbeat is there, and to see the baby moving. And it's just the most amazing thing. So let me show you little baby. There is little baby. And it just makes me so, so happy. So this was at 13 weeks and 5 days. And then I have another picture that I can show you guys. And that is of the baby's little hand. Look at that, how cute that is. That is the baby's little hand. Like, I have prayed so much. So much. And like, I don't want to cry in this video. This is a happy video. So like, there will be other videos where maybe I can sit down and cry. But I've just been praying for months and months and months and months, like this whole past year, like ever since like Jackson turned 2, and I started bringing up the idea of having another baby. And like, when I was first like told like, no, I think we're done, we're good, like I have just been praying that when the time is right, that maybe God works in Joe's heart, and that maybe, you know, we become open to it, or just helping me to trust what the Lord has in store for us. And so to find out I'm pregnant was such a joy. And then to see that this baby is doing well and that my pregnancy is progressing, like, I don't have words. I'm just so grateful, and I'm so thankful, and I'm so excited. Like, there's so many things. But now I get to kind of let you guys know how I'm feeling. So I'm grateful for all of you guys who throughout this entire, you know, past year, and when I've shared about our story, you know, all of you guys who have been praying, and those of you who've shared that you're in similar situations. I'm grateful for those stories and those prayers. And I hope, if anything, like when I'm a little bit more composed, and like when I can really talk about the experience of like how Joe got from where he is to where he was to where he is now, I hope, if anything, like that story, or you know, his testimony will help maybe some of those of you who maybe are going through something similar, where your husband maybe doesn't want any more kids and you do, or vice versa, whatever the case is. Maybe it'll help. Joe actually just went this past weekend, not this weekend, the weekend before, he spoke at the men's group that he's a part of here at church, and he shared his testimony, and he got up in front of like 100 guys, and he shared his testimony. And a lot of the testimony included, like, you know, how he had this idea that he wanted to control everything, and, you know, he didn't want things out of his control, and how he started to trust in the Lord and trust in the plan, and, you know, ultimately how God and the Holy Spirit worked in his heart to get him to a point where he was open to life. And now, like, he's so excited about this baby. So I hope to be able to share like a more long version of that, because I think it's important. But we're just really happy. I told the kids last week, so we actually waited a bit before telling the kids, because, you know, I didn't want them to have to deal with, you know, like, you know, being told, hey, mama has a baby, and then God forbid something doesn't work out, like whatever. I just wanted to give it some time. So it's fun because they're at an age where they really, well, at least Riley, I know, like understands, and she wakes up in the morning and she'll come say good morning to me, and she's like, good morning, mama, and good morning, baby, and it's just the cutest thing. So I did record that, and I'll share that in another vlog, just so you guys can see like the kids' reactions, because that I wanted to capture for, you know, all of us to be able to see. But today I really just wanted to tell you the news, share the news, and let you guys know like how I found out, and like, you know, how far along I am. I do plan on sharing more stuff about the pregnancy on my channel. So there will be some pregnancy related videos. I hope that those will be helpful to those of you guys who either are pregnant right now, which if you are, congratulations, and I'm so glad that we get to do this together. Or if you have any interest in that kind of thing, or I don't know, maybe you find those videos like a year from now and you find them helpful. That's why I document my pregnancies here. Like, but at the same time, like, I don't want you guys to think that because I'm pregnant now, like that's all I'm going to talk about, or that my whole channel is just going to be about pregnancy updates, because I've been really excited about the fact that, like, had gotten to a point where like I was doing a lot of other things. Like, yes, I'm still here at home doing stay-at-home mom life with my kids, but I'm also like homeschooling, and I had also gotten into like baking and gardening, and there were a lot of things that I had been showing interest in. And one of the things that kind of scares me, honestly, is that like to lose that, you know what I mean? Like now I'm gonna obviously have a newborn, and that takes precedence over everything. Like I get it, but like I'm gonna have to find a way to, I know obviously that most of my time is now going to be taken up with a newborn and my 2 kids. But I want to still find a way to incorporate some of those other interests and some of those other passions of mine, like into whatever life looks like for us. And I know that there will be seasons, like right when the baby's born, God willing, everything is okay. Like when the baby's born, there will be times where it's like, okay, all I'm gonna do probably is just, you know, nurse my child and keep everybody else alive. But hopefully I can return to doing some of those other things. So those are just some of my thoughts, but I just don't want you to think that that's all you're gonna see here, because that's definitely not my intention. My intention is still to share my vlogs, and yes, they may incorporate some of the stuff that has to do with the baby and balancing all the things that I have to balance, but I hope that you guys will still want to see whatever content I put out. Like I'm trying here. I'm trying to do the best that I can with the time that I have, with the stage of life. Then there's the whole thing of the move, right? Like the whole moving back to Miami. So we found out that we were pregnant first. Like we found out that we were pregnant first before we got more of like the confirmation that it's very likely going to happen, that we are going to be going back to Miami sooner rather than later. So now it's kind of like, I'm just praying that the timing works out, because this baby is due at the end of July, and we are supposed to potentially start the process of selling this house like March, April, could be later, depending on when we get the official like go letter from Joe's job. Like it's in the process, we just need like the official go letter. But so yeah, it's like now I'm pregnant. I'm gonna be dealing with, you know, a move, and just like the physical aspect of a move is hard. Like just because we have like so much purging we have to do and decluttering and all of that. But then even if I can get through it physically, it's like just the timing of it that's out of my hands. We have to sell this house, we have to buy another house down in Miami, and hopefully be down there before I deliver this child. Like I don't want to be like on the road heading down to Miami and like this child is coming out of me. So I'm trying not to stress about it. Again, I've been praying this whole time, praying in God's timing for the possibility of having children. Again, like more children. I've been praying for the possibility of whenever he thinks it's right for us to go back to Miami, that it'll happen. And so both of those prayers, it looks like, are being answered. But I'm just gonna keep trusting that he'll figure it out and the timing will work out as it should. But I'm just super happy. Like I've told you guys before in other vlogs, like there's been some people that are like, oh, you look a little sad. I'm not sad. Like I have the best things happening right now, and I feel so fortunate and so very blessed. It's just a lot all at once. So there's my news. There is my secret. I'm just so glad that I'll be able to vlog and not have to worry about like, is my stomach showing, or can you tell that I'm pregnant? Like I'll tell you, I had a couple people like guess and like kind of ask me like, are you pregnant? And that happened when, remember I missed that baby shower that I went to for my girlfriend? Like I went the week early. Like that's when people started getting suspicious. That's when people started messaging me going, are you pregnant? Because it sounds like pregnancy brain. And I was like, oh no, like, ha ha ha. Like I wasn't ready yet to tell people. But yeah, so all of you guys, a lot of you guys, I'm sure maybe had an idea or a thought, but now I can officially share the news with you guys. I am nervous. I am going to tell you that. I feel like I don't remember anything. I feel like I don't remember anything from when Jackson was a newborn. So a lot of it is like, even though Jackson's only 3 and he'll be like, you know, 3.5-ish when the baby's born, I feel like I have to go back and learn everything again. So I'm a little stressed about that. And then the other thing is we're not going to find out the sex of the baby. We're not going to find out the whole pregnancy. We're going to hope to wait until birth to find out and have it be like a surprise at birth, unless like one of the techs for us, you know, like ruins it at one of the ultrasounds or something. We're hoping to have it be a surprise. So I have to kind of like, it's gonna be harder because I have to kind of like prep for like some boy stuff and some girl stuff, or like I have to go through Jackson and Riley's old clothes to see if there's anything that might be usable for the baby, but I have to do it for both Jackson's old stuff and Riley's old stuff. So it's kind of like double the work for me. But I always said that if I had a boy and a girl, then baby number 3, we would hope to have it be a surprise. And Joe was on board for that. So I was like, okay, I guess we're gonna do that. So let me know if you guys have any other questions, want to know anything specific. I'm sure that I'll sit down and maybe talk about my first trimester. Maybe some of that will be helpful, some of the symptoms, some of that anxiety and how I coped with it. If there's anything in terms of my first trimester or just the pregnancy in general, anything that you guys are curious about or want to know, let me know in the comments. That way I kind of have an idea of what you guys want me to kind of fill you guys in on. If you're mad that I didn't share this with you sooner, I'm so sorry. Like, my intention was not to be like sneaky, and it wasn't to be, you know, shady on here. It's just like I really needed this for us. And so I feel so much better that we've done it this way. Like, there was a time when I shared things more real time, like with Jackson's pregnancy. I felt comfortable sharing it super real time, and I shared much faster with that pregnancy. But this time around, it just, that wasn't the vibe. That wasn't what I wanted. So I hope you guys can respect that. Don't be mad at me. You're still my favorite people. You're still my friends. And now from this point forward, I can share what, you know, the pregnancy looks like and all of the things. I'm an open book. So anything you want to ask me, let me know in the comments. And now let me see if I can go find Joseph so that I can put this camera in his face and I can ask him how he's feeling, because I don't want you guys to take my word for it. I would like for him to have an opportunity to share a little bit of how he's feeling, so that way you guys don't think I'm just a liar and that he's secretly really sad and that he's really pissed. So let's go find him. All right, we are interrupting Joseph's football watching so that I could get a clip of him. But I just told them that we're pregnant. Yes. I just told them the news, finally. So instead of me saying how you felt about it, figured that they might want to hear from yourself how you are feeling about the fact that there's a baby inside me.
I feel it's amazing. It's great. It's the best gift we could ever have.
And I'm not like, I'm not putting like a gun to your head right now. I am not forcing you in any way to say this.
Nope.
You feel good?
It's not for me to control. So that was what I failed to understand. It's God's will, and I accept that, and I am wholeheartedly happy about that.
When I first told you, what did you think? Do you remember?
I know.
Do you remember at all when I first told you?
Laying in bed right before Thanksgiving.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Were you like freaking out?
I was surprised.
Yeah.
But I think everybody's surprised when you find out.
Yeah.
But I was happy.
Are we gonna survive with the 3 children?
There's something we can't not survive.
Awesome. Well, I'm sure you guys will see him in the vlogs. I'm sure you guys will see him in all of the baby stuff. But just wanted you to hear it straight from his mouth.
No gun to the head.
Yeah. I'm glad
For
that you're
real
very
feelings.
happy. And I told them also about the fact that you talked in the men's group.
Oh, yes.
And you shared your testimony.
Yes.
So that maybe in the future, maybe we can elaborate on that a little bit so that we can...
Well, I hope I'm able to keep myself composed.
Yeah, so you won't break down crying like you did in your talk. So maybe in the future we can sit down
But the guy at Mass came up.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Today we were at Mass and a guy with like a little newborn came up to us, and he came up to Joe and said like, thank you for your witness the other day at that men's talk, because it was very profound, and you know, I think it helped a lot of people there, and I think a lot of people appreciated hearing that story. So again, that's one of the reasons why I said that we'll hopefully share it more here.
Father Care said, you really went for it.
Yeah. So he definitely shared just a lot of things from his life and how he's kind of like just changed, or like, what do you call that? Like, you just, the conversion that you've had.
Just resounding conviction and life change.
Yeah. So it's all good stuff, and we're super thrilled. So yeah. Thank you, Joseph Buell.
Thank you.
So that's it, guys. Again, maybe you cared to hear what he had to say. Maybe you didn't, but I know for a fact, and I knew that if I didn't at least give him a chance to share how he had been feeling through it, that was gonna be like the #1 question I was gonna get. Because if you've been here long enough, you know where we were a year or so ago. And so to me, it's a huge part of our story and of this baby's story. Like, this is like the greatest gift. This is like a huge gift and a huge blessing. And I don't take it for granted for a second. And I also want to say that I don't take it for granted the fact that there are so many women who are struggling in trying to get pregnant and that are dealing with fertility issues. Like, my heart breaks for every single person in that situation. There were a couple times in this pregnancy that I'm sure I'll talk about at some point too, where I thought that I was miscarrying. Like, I have experienced bleeding in this pregnancy, and they were all really scary moments because I never bled with my other kids. So there were a lot of moments where I was like, well, maybe this is not the exact time when it's gonna happen. And I was like processing a lot of those emotions. So I don't take it for granted the fact that here I am at 14 weeks with, as of right now, what seems to be a healthy baby and a healthy pregnancy. Like, there are so many things that go into like having a life be created. It's not a small thing, and I know that for so many women it's not like an easy thing. So I don't want that to be lost. Like, I'm very excited, and I plan on sharing how excited I am, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. But I just want you to know that if you're in a situation or in a season where you're trying to get pregnant and you're having a hard time being able to have that happen, or you've experienced loss, like, I'm praying for you. I am so sorry. And I pray for healing, and I pray for, you know, God's will in your life. And I don't know exactly what else to say, but just know that my heart goes out to you, and you're not like not seen. You're very much seen. And I know that that's the story of so many women, and just know that I love you and that I'm praying for you is all I really wanted to say about that. So anyway, I'm gonna go. Thank you guys so much for being here and for listening and for being my friend, and just know that I love your faces so much. And that is it. Stick around. Lots of really fun stuff to come, lots of fun vlogs, and obviously we have a lot to do. We got a lot to do. I got a lot to share with you guys. So I think that, you know, I'm excited about I'm excited about what the channel has, you know, happening here in the next several months. So I love you guys. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.